the first segment, like I said, all this is gonna be time gated within the bottom of the description. But the first segment, Watch Dogs 2 just got announced. I mean, not really announced, but revealed. I want to talk about Watch Dogs 2, but not only that, other games this year that are coming out that you guys are excited for. Because this is not an E3 episode, but then again, it is an E3 episode. You know, stuff can happen next week that makes our minds melt. So, I want to start with NarDy. I want to start off with NarDy, my cousin. I want you to answer this question, right? Watch Dogs 2. After the fiasco with Watch Dogs 1, which we could touch on a little bit, do you think Watch Dogs 2 will be the Uncharted 2 of this franchise, or I guess the Assassin's Creed 2 of this franchise? Do you think Watch Dogs 2 can save this franchise and be what it needs to be for Watch Dogs?
I would say yes. I mean, everything that came out just blew my mind. It looked like a cross between GTA 5 and some elements of The Division. Not to mention the graphics of that. So, yeah, I think this could be their shining night, and definitely bring back the original fans of what they really had in the beginning that they lost due to the game not being what everybody expected it to be. So, yeah, I think this will bring everybody back and, keep them. So, yeah, I think this is going to be solid so number 2.
Was there anything in that in that gameplay that made you say, "Yep, it's done"? Oh.
Well, I really like the idea behind it. They put a lot of thought into it. You could tell like they really wanted to make up for what they did or didn't do in the first one. And, one of the most simple things that caught my attention was the fact that they created a new weapon out of a billiard ball, a pool ball, and some rope.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I just thought that was super creative, and that just show you like where your mind at with it. And when people get that type of creative, that's what us as gamers want. We want that type of game to where this had a lot of thought into it. And when I play this, I know it's gonna be worth my time because me as a gamer, look forward to challenges of somebody who's creative enough to give me a great challenge. So aside from all the aesthetics, just the whole idea behind it and the driving force of a game that we all wanted to love, it just make my anticipation that much more higher. So
nice.
I'm with it.
Let me say this before we go to Bandit and Fresh. Who played Watch Dogs 1?
Yeah, I did.
I played Watch Dogs 1. Yeah, we all played it.
Yeah.
Played it a little bit.
I played it.
Well, let me say this. What was just name one thing in that game that was like, why? Why y'all did it like this? Like, sad. All right? Fresh, what was it for you? The one thing that was overall, like, why? And answer, did Watch Dogs 2 solve it or fixed it? Or if you don't know, don't worry about answering that question. But Fresh, go.
Well, the first thing is about Watch Dogs 1 was the customization. All you could wear was the jacket. There was no point in having customization, having different colors of the jacket. It made no sense. And then money. There was no point in having money in that game. So I don't know if you had money. That's it. But as far as that trailer that I seen and the gameplay, the biggest thing that stood out from that game was the mobility and the way he jumping and like the parkour and stuff like that. That was amazing. That caught my eye. And it feel like Watch Dogs is targeted to like modern times today. Even though Watch Dogs 1 it kind of felt like that, but it felt like Watch Dogs 2 feel like more 2016 than anything, because with that protagonist character, that's another thing. The protagonist, he it feel, even though he didn't talk, it feels like he have like some type of energy in him, like he's alive instead of just somebody sitting there with no emotion. But it feel like with that character, I'm about to go hop on a skateboard and hack. That's what it felt like. It felt just like that. You can go spray paint walls and stuff, like some Infamous Second Son type stuff. That's what it's like Watch Dogs.
Or that one game, what's that game, NarDy, where you on a...
Jack Grind Future.
What?
Jack Grind Radio.
Yeah, Jack Grind Radio. Remember that? Jack Grind, yeah, that was the game right there. It was just like that.
Yeah, what it's called, Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Bandit.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2. The problem with that game in Watch Dogs 2 is I'm just afraid that it's not going to come out looking like that. You know, but people like, you know, people make mistakes and they correct them, you know, during the second time around. You know, everybody deserves second chances. So we actually giving them a second chance, and they giving themselves a second chance by releasing a sequel to Watch Dogs, and I hope they deliver. You know what they talking about.
You right.
Well, I think, you know, with all the, you know, because they have gameplay footage usually when they make an announcement, and they don't have gameplay footage and they show you a lot of cinematic stuff or sequence stuff. They show gameplay footage, so I think it's closer than ever to being, you know, close, you know, instead of being pushed back when they come around that time it's supposed to be released.
Yeah, but they show gameplay for Watch Dogs 1.
What they showed for this one, I don't think it was this amount, you know, in the beginning. Because it's not even E3 yet, so you know they have stuff for E3.
But
yeah, that is true. That's true.
Possibly.
And Bandit, before I say my 2 cents, I want to ask, is there one thing in Watch Dogs 1 that you was like, why? And Watch Dogs 2, you like, yes?
Well, I think my view might be a little bit different because I actually liked Watch Dogs, the first game. I'm probably one of very few people that actually enjoyed it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a brilliant game. It's not the greatest game ever by far, by any stretch of the imagination. But I thought overall it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the things that I felt maybe sort of stood out in terms of a negative were because the story itself the actual story was actually really good, and I thought the story they were telling, or the story they were trying to tell, was quite in depth, and it seemed they were going to a lot of different avenues. The problem I felt was the way it was told. It didn't really come across as well as it could have, and some of the characters felt a bit too cliched. And I love cliches, by the way, but sometimes when you have cliches done a bit awkwardly and it's not quite coming across, like I can't remember his name, but it was like an Asian character.
Oh, you talking about the friend?
Exactly. Yeah, some like the guy who gives you jobs at the beginning or something like that. He's he wears a suit, and I can't remember his name, but he just felt a bit too blah. And even Aiden Pierce himself, Aiden Pierce, is that right? Aiden Pierce, the main character. Yeah, even at times he did come across a bit awkward, and like sort of, was it Fresh? I think said about the changing of the coat, so all it's different colours.
Yeah.
So why bother with it?
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense.
But overall, I did actually thought it was an okay game. I did think it was a good game, and with what I've seen of Watch Dogs 2, it looks, and I have to stress it looks, because obviously we know that these things can change, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a better experience. It looks like they're going. It seems they're going to go a bit more into the hacker side of things, into the hacker culture, and I find that quite interesting.
Yes.
So I'd be interested to see what they do with that. And also the whole thing about gentrification they brought up as well, and how he's come from Chicago and he's moving to San Francisco. So I think that's quite a very interesting topic to touch on as well. So it'd be good to see what they do with it. Hopefully they tell the story a lot better as well. But yeah.
Let me say this. Watch Dogs 2 can fix all the problems of Watch Dogs 1, but I'm with Bandit on this one too, as far as the quality. You know, the only problems on Watch Dogs 1 to me that screamed out, we need to fix this, was the shooting. You know, everything else about Watch Dogs 1 I got used to and I enjoyed, but the shooting, the sound of the guns, you felt like Fresh said it in our last podcast, 12S.
Like toys.
It felt like toys. It felt like that scene on Uncharted 4 when Nathan's rolling around in his attic shooting at those plates.
Spoiler alert.
That's not a spoiler, man. Everyone here knows that scene. Anyway, I think you did. Bandit, did you play Uncharted 4?
I've played it, yeah. Some of your viewers might not have though, but I've played it.
That's good.
Look, I got a question. I got a question for everybody. So do y'all think you think they announced this game too quick?
Watch Dogs 2?
No.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 came out 2014. It's 2016 now. They're coming out this year. So you think they announced it too fast?
Is it out this year? So I don't actually see the release date.
It come out this year. No commercial.
It's Ubisoft, right?
All right.
Ubisoft.
Well, I mean, you know they're not doing another Assassin's Creed, so they needed something.
You're right. Yeah, but they still got For Honor and they got Division under their belt. And, Ghost Recon.
I mean, look at Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy ain't wasting no time with nothing.
Man, that man
he's
dead.
spreading the love all over.
Rest in peace.
you know, Ubisoft has so many different franchises across so many different genres that they could release like 1 million games a year. It's not going to matter to them because each game serves a different type of the game or a different demographic. So they're not worried about, we've done the Division. We can't release another game for at least two. They're not worried about that. They've got, okay, this game for these group of people who like, you know, stealth shooters or whatever. This game for people who like open world shooters. This game for people who like, you know what I mean. They got range. They got range. It's not
strong titles too.
Yeah, not always good range. I mean, not always good range, but they've got range.
Man, let me say this about Watch Dogs 2. As far as the improvements they're bringing to the table, I think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be a testament on a company taking feedback and applying to their game. Like, y'all know how Crackdown 2 did it, and also how Saints Row the 4th did it. They took old maps and they just added to it. Now, what would y'all have felt if they did do that with Watch Dogs 2? It was still in Chicago, but they added to it, like more buildings to walk into. More, the missions are structured better, and like you're still in Chicago, and maybe they add a new layer of Chicago, like what they're doing with San Francisco, and that's I guess the worry. I guess Fresh saying, did they announce it so early? Because the game Watch Dogs 1 at least came out when? 2 years ago, right? And
Yeah.
And I guess we knew about it for 3 years, right, Fresh? Didn't we know about Watch Dogs for 3 years?
3 years, yep.
So we knew about it for 3 years, and it finally came out, and it came out in a state that, well, like I said, Watch Dogs 2. I mean, 1 was I thought the storyline, like Bandit said, was good, but it had problems. Like you couldn't even replay story mission. What game you can't replay story missions? You couldn't do it. You have to restart the whole game to replay a mission. That's sad. That's a slap on the hand. Really. Like, no good. Anyway, the whole Watch Dogs 2 being able to do the replayability, that's awesome. But how would y'all think if they did Chicago again and they switched up the characters, but they did Chicago again? What if they did that? Y'all, like, you played Watch Dogs a lot, Bandit, obviously. Would you say, oh, they're just reskinning Watch Dogs 1, I'm done?
I don't think I'd mind if they did Chicago again. I mean, if you think like, how many times has GTA done Liberty City at this point? You know, so you can redo the city. That wouldn't be the problem. It's about what you do with the game. I mean, I think I actually loved what they did with the city. You know, that whole thing about how, you can walk around and there's just people just like, playing the drums and just doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they're doing that more in depth with this one, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, if they kept it in Chicago, I don't think that would have been a problem, not for me anyway. I mean, if they'd have continued Aiden Pierce's story, I think a lot of people would have found that a bit interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll bet if she was ever Chicago.
And the reason, let me just say this for context. The reason I say stay in Chicago is because, hey, you already got a city. You made that city for 3 years, maybe longer than that. A game coming out this year, Watch Dogs 2 coming out this year. Man, dude, to be honest, that sounds unbelievable. Me and Fresh was talking about it. Fresh, what do you think? Do you think?
Okay, you mean in terms of building a whole city again?
Yeah, they rebuilding, and like NarDy said, they don't have to worry about Assassin's Creed, so they might have had enough muscle power and manpower to do this and pull it off. But Fresh, you think Watch Dogs 2 is gonna be good, man? Like coming out this early?
No, I think it's gonna be good, but the longevity of it, I don't think it's gonna last long. I mean, it could last long with the multiplayer, but I don't know, man. But what I'm trying to say is, like, they must have just finished Watch Dogs and worked on Watch Dogs 2 as soon as they done Watch Dogs 1. That's the only case that I would believe that Watch Dogs 2 will actually be good, because if they made this game in 2015, nah, man, I'm done. Like, they made it like the beginning of last year. Nope, this game is not ready yet. It's not ready. It may be delayed.
I don't think so.
It may be delayed. Like you said, if they kept it in Chicago, I wouldn't care, as long as you add in detail. Like, the smallest details makes a bigger game for some reason. It makes the best out of every game. As long as you got a whole bunch of detail, mobility, that's all I need. I wouldn't care if it was in Chicago. But I think, yeah, it's too soon for Watch Dogs to come out this year, and I think it's going to get delayed.
I think I'm going to be on Fresh side and think it's going to get delayed too, NarDy. I'm sorry, man. It feels unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, it feels unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Yeah, when I saw, I can't believe it. I'm watching.
Yeah,
Watch
it is
Dogs
hard to believe. I mean, they haven't gave us any reason to think otherwise anyway. But I mean, I was just being positive. I think they're in a good space with it. I don't think they might delay it, but you never know. They delay games for all kind of reasons. But it looked pretty good to me.
GTA 5. Look how long they took to make that game. Like Watch Dogs didn't even spend half of the time to make their game.
Yeah.
But GTA 5 is another beast. That's like a quadruple A title, you know. I mean, that game's still coming out with expansion packs. You know, everybody going back. That's a high replay value game.
Yeah, let's say this.
Standalone for
story of Watch Dogs
multiplayer.
Gonna be more fun than just like a GTA game. It might be fun. It's remember, it's a hacking game. It's not supposed to be a GTA 5 competitor. People thinking like, all right, this is the second time around, so they can say they compete with GTA. Like, no, this is a hacking game, and you playing as this protagonist. You're going around hacking people. That's what the game is all about. And as long as they do that right, I'm good.
Let me say this, y'all, because we have only 4 seconds left on this.
They could get anywhere close to the vicinity where, you know, I think it's just a goal to reach.
Okay, let me say this, wrapping up. Are you guys gonna buy Watch Dogs day one?
Maybe not day one, we'll see. But
yeah, probably not day one.
Yeah.
If it does
probably
reach
get
it
at some point, but maybe not day one.
Yeah, and about all the other games coming out this year, with Watch Dogs going against but I guess this is The Last Guardian. Fresh, I was about to say The Last of Us. The Last of Us 2 coming out this year. E3 announcement 2016. Are you ready to see Ellie? I don't know, man. Like, that'd be crazy. But anyway, look, write in the comment section. Do you guys think Watch Dogs is going to be delayed? Do you think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be good? I would love to hear and read. And yeah, let's move on to the next segment. Okay, we're back for the next segment in Gaming Talk, episode 13. I almost lost it there. The next segment is about Destiny's new expansion. This news is hot off the press. Man, E3 is so close. I can taste it. I can hear Yoshida talking right now. Fresh, what would he say right now?
You like,
love you a long time.
It's been a year ago. It felt like it's been yesterday since E3 2015. They always say that. It felt like it's been yesterday.
Or
since they had that last event. They always say that